Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So let me just, gosh, I'm always in a freaking rush. So, hello. If you would like to learn how I work energy, because I'm not a tarot card reader, I use cards to focus my ADHD. Um, check out that link at k33academy.com/store. I have quite a few different learning opportunities that you could participate in if you want. Okay. Um, I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I was told is trying so hard to find enough courage. So there's something going on, and someone is feeling, unsure. They're feeling, I would say, even kind of like afraid to move forward. Whatever that is, it's going to play out, and however it's going to play out, but it's seeming like this individual, gosh, is it you? Is it you? I mean, seriously, is it you? Are you having like a hard time um trying to make sense of like how to do the thing that you need to do? I mean, gosh, I don't know. It feels very nerve-wracking. It feels kind of like edge of the seat. You're sitting on the edge of your seat trying to get some type of confirmation for what you need to do. Okay, this is it. This is your confirmation. If you're looking for confirmation, this reading is going to be what gives you confirmation in terms of which direction to go. Okay. Hi, Yogli Yogli. Yogi Yogli. I love your name. I love people's screen names. I don't know what it is. It like really, I love it. Okay. We're almost ready. We're ready. Okay. Girl, you better hurry up. You gotta teach class. Today is gonna be the first day of defensive posturing. I'm gonna teach some ass kicking skills. Hold on. Oh my god. I drooled. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get started for real. Let's see. Ooh. So this is a story being told. That's the sense that I got. Autumn went upside down because of the fact that you were needing, whoever this is, was needing to really come. What did I do? Turn it back. What did you do, girl? Now it's looking weird. So something happened in autumn, right? Whatever this thing is that happened in autumn, it really got the individual. Again, I don't know, is it you? It really got the individual so caught up in like a sense of disappointment. It got them feeling some kind of crazy way about themselves. Things got real dark, is the sense that I got. Things got really super dark. And they don't know, whoever this is doesn't quite know how to get things back. Oh my God. Doesn't know how to get things back into a proper place within themselves, right? They're feeling unsure. Girl, leave it alone. Leave it alone because it's just going to keep going. You're going to keep doing things that are going to make you feel some kind of way. Okay. So someone really got upside down in what it is they're needing to do. They knew what they needed to do. They knew what they wanted to do, but were scared. I'm serious. They're just so scared about what needs to happen. Um, it caused them to go further and further away from that space of home, further from their space of centeredness. But they couldn't keep this secret anymore, this need. Um, I guess they were trying to deny it for so long. They were trying so hard to deny this to themselves, to their environment, but eventually it just kind of like, ooh, I hear blew up in their face. Oh my gosh, I hope you didn't get burned. It's kind of hard not to get burned if, things are blowing up in your face. So then comes like a tremendous sense of regret, like so much regret, so much that you or someone else was wanting to take back. Like, just, you cannot stay in this space. I'm telling you that right now. You cannot stay in the space that you're in. If this is already resonating in the first few minutes, you cannot continue to live in this. You're going to make yourself sick. You're literally going to make yourself sick, and this is such a pronounced, almost like self-loathing. Boo, habibi. Habibi, I'm serious. This is a recipe for autoimmune condition to develop. Stop. You cannot change what has already happened. What you can do is recognize the things that you don't like about the way things played out and make a decision to change that, to change from this point forward. If you stay in this space of self loathing, you will get sick. This is such an intense, like, this is really intense. The energy of it like permeates through the entire body. Like, what happened? Oh my gosh. You don't have time, girl. You got to teach class. So, this is a person who's gone upside down in their shadow space, right? This is something where it's like you were asked, encouraged by soul to go ahead and start some type of shadow work. And this shadow work was going fairly well. Shadow work in general is very intense. True shadow work is very, very, very intense, very viscerally felt. It has a tendency to be something that um, you feel it in your body. Your emotions become so dense that it feels like you're being destroyed. It's a very intense type of internal work, very necessary. And someone was doing it, and I guess the environment that they were in caused this person to get very upside down, like very gaslit into a space of feeling like they are an issue. No, they were in a process. If it's you, you were simply in a process, and the people in your environment did not have the capacity to understand the gravity of this divine process that you were in. This is why when you go through an ascension cycle, you will see you are oftentimes so ridiculously isolated. This is why. But some people don't want to listen. They're like, oh, but I need people. I need people. I need to socialize. And no, what you're doing is looking for excuses, for distractions. And when you do that in the middle of an ascension cycle, what ends up happening, that distraction becomes the very distortion that gets you very upside down in your process. So, this person, if it's you, if it's someone else, I'm not sure, um you got very upside down in your process. You got gaslit into this space of like, what are you doing? You are this and that, and it's not good. It's not good. It's almost a sense of someone continuously speaking to you in such a harsh manner, continuously breaking down your sense of self. Hmm. Almost also like it's weird. It's also almost like this sense of people in your environment were like not wanting you around me specifically. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised because you know what happens? I recognize that when people start to spend time with me regularly, it's because their soul has placed me in their path in order to help facilitate the rectification of the imbalances that have occurred. I am huge, like huge on self empowerment, speaking your truth, living in an authentic manner. I'm huge in claiming your personal power by way of no longer taking any type of caca. Right? So, um, you know, yeah, that's the sense. They don't like you being around me, like watching my videos or whatever it is, because I make you harder to control. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You should be hard to control. You shouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. What are you? You are a unique expression of a divine truth. Fuck that shit. People shouldn't be telling you what to do. I don't tell you what to do. You need to tell you what to do. Screw everything else. They don't like that. They don't like that you're now openly questioning the way they treat you. They don't like that my presence causes you to pause and question, really take into consideration what's happening. I like that. I really like that. I like that a lot. I like that you're able to um really just start thinking for yourself. There are people that exist who get really pissed off at the mention of my name. Fuck you. You don't like my name too fucking bad. You're going to hear it more and more. I think, and this is part of the sense that I get, is that when you share a realization you're having because of something that maybe I said, and I don't even know that you're like completely quoting me. It's just you're having this realization and you're sharing it with someone who you think loves you, who you think supports your growth and your healing. Well, you light up, your power rises to the surface and you begin to glow. And so this individual that doesn't want you to glow, they begin to associate your self-empowerment journey that you are on with me and my name. That's a huge mistake. Why? Because I'm just here in an empty room, talking to myself and expressing my opinions out loud. I am not the causation of the person's growth. They're growing because they're ready. It could have been anyone and any words. They are growing because they're ready. See, for people who are trying to control you, they think that I'm the reason you're becoming empowered. No, 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 no. Get this very, very clear within yourself. You are the reason you are getting empowered because you're ready. You're ready to take your power back, trying so hard to find enough courage. Find the courage. It's okay if you're afraid. Courage is not the absence or lack of fear. Courage is what you choose to do in the face of it. That's a given. You have the courage. You just have to be willing to utilize it. Utilize it to overcome the fear that's keeping you confined to the spaces that your environment, these people who claim to love you, flick them in the nose. Flick them in the nose. Right here. That, oh my God, their eyes will water so bad. You're not gonna break their nose. I mean, unless you have some crazy ass flicking capability, you're not gonna break their nose. But what's gonna happen is it's gonna reset them. It's gonna reset the shit out of them, right? Don't ever let anyone convince you that you should not glow in the way you were designed to glow. It is not you that is the issue. The issue is that someone wants to control and subjugate you. I don't think so. So true. They don't like it when I listen to you. I lost my earphone, so now I listen to you on the highest volume. Love it. Love it. I find that when people don't want to listen to me, like they can't stand the sound of my voice, regardless of what I'm saying, it's usually because their demons are getting irritated that I'm so fucking cute. Mm. I'm saying. I'm saying. In the past, um, I've assisted people with specific types of self-healing. And it is not uncommon when you begin to heal the wounds that create the distortions with how you see your life and the people that are in your life. When you begin to heal that, you begin to see the people who claim to love you. Mm. They're usually the ones who have created the issue within you. They cause you to lose belief in yourself. They cause you to feel like you are not enough. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You are more than enough. The only reason you seem like you're not enough in the environment you're in is because the environment you're in lacks the capacity, the intelligence, and the willingness to see you for the full gravity that you are. I still don't understand my full gravity, but I do know enough to know that once upon a time I existed in spaces that made me feel like I was burdensome, that I was crazy, that I was full of shit, and that I was weird as fuck. I remember one time, this person that I really, really, really love, her partner, she's telling me about a show, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I watched that." And she's like, "Oh, her partner said to her like, "Yeah, you should tell, Emmy about it. She's into that weird shit, that weird fringe shit, like conspiracy, fucking stupid shit. She'd like that show." Fuck you. Yeah. Yeah. And that was me trying to play normal. That was me shutting myself up, not talking much ever, ever. If you think you're able to successfully hide who you are, I promise you, you're not. As a collective whole begins to ascend, collective meaning global, everyone, as we all begin to ascend, people are more and more very, very readily seeing the bullshit. They are very readily seeing the truth of who you are. You see all these influencers. I think I'm actually only aware of one influencer that's really being called out right now in the makeup community. And it's like this thing of people are seeing all of the lies, how much they've lied. Yeah. You can't hide who you are. You can't hide the goodness that you are, just like the bad people, the horrible people, the users and the liars cannot hide who they are anymore. There was this one person that had an issue with me a few years back. It had a lot to do with the fact that they didn't like becoming aware that I'm not fake. This is literally who I am. They were playing a role though. And so they decided, like, we need to get Emmy out of the picture because I can't sustain this. And she says too much for me to keep up. They couldn't keep up. I was sharing so much information they couldn't keep up. So something in them snapped and they decided to really just start shit and make all these lies and tell people that I was doing this and that. No, that's your insecurity, ho. That's your insecurity. Oh, I didn't do shit to you. I didn't do shit. I didn't do anything at all but be a supportive friend. I left that situation behind. It did hurt my heart. It hurt my heart because I question, am I the problem here? Is it me? Like, am I in denial of the person that I am? Because as far as I can tell, all I do is fucking love people. All I do is support people, encourage, empower. That's all I want to do. And for a moment there, I thought I was lying to myself. No, that's who I am. That's all I want, to help others. And you know what happened? I left that behind. I came to a realization that empowered me to the degree that it set me free from my own gilded cage. I left the platform I was comfortable with and I went to a completely different platform. I was very uncomfortable. I was very unsure. And looking back now, I see I've always had this courage that I couldn't quite allow myself to acknowledge. Do you know the amount of courage it takes to leave a platform that is your bread and butter and you are the sole breadwinner? This was the way I was earning a living wage for my family and quite a few other families. I dumped that and left. I didn't even tell anyone where I was going. There are still people on Facebook who are like, where the hell did Emmy go? Do you know what kind of courage it takes to take that leap of faith? I didn't. See, that's the beautiful thing about courage. Whether you can acknowledge what amount of courage you have or not, it's there. It's usable. That is something that you can tap into if you choose to. You have to begin shifting the way you react to your triggers. Once upon a time, my triggers would cause me to shut down. It would cause me to deactivate my accounts, get very, very quiet, hide within myself, stop talking for days at a time. It would cause me to stop eating, all kind of different things. I would completely shut down. Now, you trigger me, bitch, let me shine brighter. You don't want me to talk about it? Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Find someone else. I'm not going to be quiet. Find someone else. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to speak loudly. Even in the face of people threatening this and that. No, nope, nope. I'm going to allow myself to become even more rebellious, even more defiant. Fuck it. This is going to play out however it's going to play out, but I promise you, however it plays out, I will deal with the after effects. I will completely own the decisions I make, but none of those decisions involve me becoming disempowered because you told me I have no power. No. Allow your rebelliousness to be the very thing to set you free. Some time ago, I had to break contract with someone because they were literally like, that was a security issue. I had to break contract with them. And then it became this thing of I had to have a lawyer, they had a lawyer, and our lawyers were arguing. And then what happened? Well, they tried to strong arm me, and my lawyer didn't want to deal with it anymore. So she's like, just let's go ahead and settle so you can just be done with this. This guy is a monster. He is a pain to deal with. I can't imagine that you would want him, or you would want to have to deal with him any longer than you need to. So as part of the settlement, they'll give you all your money back. They will officially terminate the contract, and you will have to sign an NDA, non-disparaging agreement, and you will have to admit that the police report you filed was fictitious. No, nope. And my lawyer's like, these are very normal types of settlements. Both parties have to feel like they get something out of it. And you know what I said to her? Do you understand the work that I do? I am a public figure. I'm not a big deal, but I am a public figure. I will not allow my fear in this situation to be the very thing that someone years from now that they use as though it's a skeleton in my closet to call me and paint me as a liar. I did not lie on any police report. I have time-stamped evidence to corroborate what I stated in that police report. And I asked her, what are the ramifications if I don't sign this? Because I will not be told to shut up about my life. I am an inspirational speaker, and I use my life experiences to encourage and inspire others to find their power. I will not shut up about my life. And she said, well, he can sue you. And I said, bring it on. And she's like, he can take you to court. You let him know exactly what address to use to serve me papers, because I know he's fucking lying. I lived through it. If he wants to say he this and that, I hope he has the evidence, because I promise you, I have video, I have photographs, I have everything. Everything. And she's like, oh, well, are you sure? I'm fucking sure. I am sure. By the way, am I paying you to be chummy with them? Or am I paying you to defend me and look at all the fucking possibilities of how this will affect me in the future? It doesn't matter what you face. You find the courage to do what you know in your heart you need to do. And no one thought about that. I was like, you know what? I see how this is going to play out. I'm so blessed to have the ability to follow the strings for every decision I could potentially make if I choose. And I had to sit there and think, I want this to be done with. But if I sign this agreement, if I agree to the settlement, show me what happens. Well, that carries with it the implication that I lied on a police report, but I didn't. Well, yeah, no, someone could totally paint it that way. Okay, well, then I can't do it. Have you ever tried to follow the strings of the decisions you make? Have you ever tried to let yourself see the gravity of you giving up on yourself? It could have been so easy for me to give up on that. And this guy dragged it out for months. After that, he dragged it out for months because he was forced to give me back my entire deposit by his lawyer. He was forced to give me back my entire deposit. And what he wanted to do was go ahead and withhold that property. He did not want to list it. He has an obligation in the state of California to list that property immediately to recoup some of that loss from terminating that contract early. He wanted to try and force me to pay for the remainder of the contract, because in California, so long as the property is not rent it out, you are on the hook for that. Oh, no, sir. No, no. I'm checking every single real estate listing. I'm screenshotting that every day. And this adds to my case that you have been trying to abuse me by way of manipulation of real estate laws. I was like, go ahead. Keep on, motherfucker. You're building my case. You got to find that courage. Was I afraid? Yeah. Who wants to be sued? I know I don't. But you know what? I keep track of everything. I keep receipts for everything. It's ridiculous. It's like I'm a hoarder of evidence. I don't toss any of that away. I'm not even joking. I don't delete emails. I don't delete text messages. I don't throw away phones. None of that. Any text messages that are very like, oh, hell no. Not only will I screenshot it and archive the screenshots in multiple locations, I'll also email that to myself immediately. So the timestamp of the email matches the timestamp of the text message. Find your courage. See, we're so quick to toss away the information, toss away the memories because we don't want to deal with it. Oh, honey, I promise you, at some point, you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to deal with it. So you might as well keep the things that will help you to better contemplate and organize what it is you need to deal with. Everything that happens in your life, eventually you will have to face it. Yeah, don't be snitching me out, girl. She says she organizes it all so well, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a trauma response. You know, me being that way is a trauma response because my entire life people have let me down. They have disappointed me. They have betrayed me. They have lied to me my entire life. And so now, I mean, you can't survive a childhood of being raised by a narcissist, a malignant narcissist at that, without developing some quirks. So now it's this thing of, okay, we just gonna file that away in case I need to protect myself later. We're gonna file that away. Most things I don't ever have to use. Most things I really don't ever have to use, right? But in the rare circumstance, yep, it's right there. It's file this, sub file that, sub file that. They're my lawyers right now from Clownery the Clown, the stalker in Switzerland, they're like, yeah, mm-hmm. I have files that show the original file in case you need the metadata. And then I've also organized it so that there's a singular PDF, one file where you can just scroll through. Everything's highlighted. There are notations in there in a bold color so that you can see why this was placed into the and I've gone ahead and I've backed up exact same in multiple filing, storage apps online as well as offline for ease of reference, whichever one is easier for you to download the files from. Not even joking. Not even joking. Not even joking. Find your courage. You don't have to necessarily do all of that and have the same trauma responses that I have, but you need to find your courage. I have the courage because I have the evidence. That's my quirk. I have the courage because I have the evidence. You want to accuse me of lying? This is exactly what I said. This is exactly what I said. All of my live streams are archived. All of my sessions are archived. Why? because I need to do my part to ensure that I feel safe in what I do. You will never catch me slipping. You just won't. And I accept this about myself now. So now I don't gather evidence in a frantic, fearful manner. It's just like, okay, this is part of the process of my work. Everything gets archived. My personal life, I like to sometimes go back and reread messages between myself and people that are important to me. So no texts are ever deleted. Um, I take pictures of everything because, you know, I'm not always fully present as things happen, and I love photography. So now it's this space of just this is kind of how I am. And, it is what it is. And I'm not afraid. I might get nervous. I might feel anxious. That's a normal, natural reaction to elevations in circumstance. I'm not broken. I'm not malfunctioning. I'm not operating in a space of fear. I'm just very prepared for any circumstance, very prepared for every circumstance I could possibly ever encounter. Very prepared, right? So you need to allow yourself to get familiar with the very things that you need to do. You need to be your own guardian. Okay. You need to, excuse me, allow your awareness to develop, your awareness of the process that you're in. Right now, many people are in a very intense process. And this process is definitely something that can help to, um, it can help to completely change your life. Remember, I said at the very beginning of this, if you're looking for a sign, if you're looking for confirmation what direction to go, this is going to be it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Make the decision. Prepare. Dedicate yourself. But you dedicate yourself after you set the intention of what you're trying to accomplish. You don't dedicate yourself nonsensically by committing to something that you don't even know what you're committing to, right? You don't know what you're committing to. There are certain components that you have to be aware of. So as you commit to what you're needing and wanting to do, um, it's important to know that the things that will not take you to the next part, that then takes you to the next part and the next part, those types of things, they will not be allowed to come to fulfillment. You are very protected in this process. Can you just trust yourself? I just got a notification. Your prayers finally being answered. Your prayers are being answered. There's going to be shocking changes. And these shocking changes are going to be a result of your prayers being answered. The ways in which your prayers are answered are not always going to unfold in the way you want it to unfold, right? The what? Who are you talking to? I know you ain't talking to me. These two over here are like, um, I don't even want to say it. I don't feel like they're talking to me, but they're like, do you need to find yourself face to face with a thing you're ignoring? I'm paraphrasing because the thing you're avoiding. No, mm-mm, I will not say that. But that's the question. Do you need to find yourself face to face with the very thing you've been trying to avoid? Because life is preparing to do that. You already have the courage inside you. Um, You're just not tapping into it. Your fear is blocking the pathway for you to recognize, um, or your fear is blinding you to the fact that your courage is already within your grasp, right? Your fear is blinding you to the fact that your courage is already within your grasp. All right. So you've taken a time out from tapping into your power, your strength, and tapping into your shine. That's okay. You already went through that process. That's okay. But now you're needing your power. Now you're needing your power and you're needing to shine. You're needing to glow. Okay. You need to find a way to have gratitude for the ways in which your life has prepared you for this monumental moment. You cannot get through this with a lack of awareness. You have to allow that awareness to expand. Okay. You're not going to be allowed to exit out of your shadow spaces until you stop this thing of not walking in your truth. So, look, awaken shadow self and walk your truth. It's in reverse. You're trying to pretend, you're trying to convince yourself that you don't know. You know, you know, you know. Pretending you're not smart doesn't make you not smart. It just makes you clever, a good actor or actress. You're actually very intelligent. You see, people are like, sometimes people will be like, oh my gosh, I mean, I don't know about half the things you talk about, the words that you use, I don't know them. Like, you're so smart. But see, here's the thing. You've been conditioned by your environment to believe you're not smart. If you didn't have the same level of intelligence as me, then you would not be resonating with me. Do you know how that works? Just because you haven't yet reached a place where you are allowing yourself to be free to be as intelligent as you are, does not mean you're not intelligent. You think like me. That's why you can sit here for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, listening to me go on and on and on about who the hell knows. And you can follow along with it because why? Because we have the same type of intelligence. You're a neurodivergent, not just any type of neurodivergent, a quantum neurodivergent. Like me, you are a quantum anomaly in a linear world. People cannot make sense of you. And because they can't make sense of you in a linear way, they told you you were broken, you were flawed, that you weren't enough. Stop holding it against them for not being as smart as you. Not everyone can be. It's okay. It's okay. You can still allow yourself to be as intelligent as you are. It's okay. It's okay. There, years ago, there was this one person that I would chat with, and I knew that person was like mad toxic. I'm sorry, bruh. You are. They're mad toxic, but my goodness, the quality of symposium we would hold, the quality of it, his vernacular was comparable to my own. And it was lovely, lovely to speak so freely and not have to worry if I'm sounding like a pompous asshole. It was lovely, but after a while, it was just like, yo, you mad toxic. I just can't. I can't. I can't. You're making me toxic too, you know? So get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in. You don't have to let go of who you are. You don't have to let go of your remembering what happened to get you to where you're at right now. This space of feeling disempowered, this space of being upset, Those are real feelings. Those are valid. But you don't live there. Don't allow yourself to live there. Don't allow yourself to be a lesser expression of who you actually are. You have choices to make, and I hope what you choose is to love yourself unconditionally. In order to love yourself unconditionally, you have to allow yourself to see what you've been through. You have to just allow yourself to see what you've been through. I've been through a lot. I share openly with you guys a lot of the different things that I've experienced, and you know, my life is perfect in the way that it is. These are things I had to experience to become more aware of the different fractals of me that exist already. You are a dynamic energy. You were never meant to be static. You were never meant to fit a mold. You were never meant to this or that. No. There is no new chapter that needs to be written. You first have to finish the chapter you're in. You have to finish out this cycle. You have to finish it out with integrity intact. Okay? Do not mirror the ugly people of the world. Do not mirror them. Do not try and get even. You know, um, the most potent revenge that I got on someone was to just move forward. Not to show that, haha, you can, no, I moved forward, and I didn't allow myself to be depressed about, the ways in which I was bamboozled into thinking that they were a genuine friend and that they cared and yada, yada, yada. No, I was already aware they were using me for some time, and I just didn't want to believe it. So I was just like, it is what it is. I did it to myself again. Right. And what they did was kind of inconsequential to me. It became this thing of, this is nothing but a delivery method for me to understand the ways in which I co create these situations. I invite this in. It's not about fault, it's about recognizing if I don't like the end result that always happens after I make these decisions, I have to make differing decisions. Okay, Marlene's making a little sense. If everything you choose takes you further away from the thing you want the most, why do you keep choosing it? No matter how far you go, inside you, you're still right there. So you might as well step forward, she says. I tried to roll my eyes, that hurt. Uh, I'm trying, but it's just that makes my eyeballs hurt. So when you see me go like this, that's my eyes rolling, so I don't hurt my actual eyes. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You're being pushed into a space of totality, wholeness, right? If you feel not whole in the absence of specific people, specific environments, you need to go back there. You need to go back there. You need to stop letting your ego make these decisions for you. I stayed away from my mother for years. I was so upset about the way things unfolded. Wasn't really something she did. It was more like she was put in a very difficult position where other people were like, well, you better choose me. Right. And I can be confrontational, but I don't like to be. So I was just like, you made your decision. Um, I'm out. I'm good. I did what I could, and it wasn't enough. And I'm good. I'm good. I'm done feeling this way. I'm done making myself sick trying to prove to you how much I love you. And so I left. And I was so hurt about that. So hurt. I was so I was so upset about it that I stopped eating for 2 weeks straight. Not by choice. I became so emaciated. I fit into a 6-year-old's clothing. Yeah. I was so upset about it. I was so hurt. It is what it is. Until I realized it isn't what I thought. I did not feel whole without my mother. So one night I was presented with a visual. I was sleeping and then I became aware that I was partially woken up and I was projected into a different space where I was being shown several days in advance. It was like a Monday. This was supposed to be a Friday. I was being shown what would happen on the Friday. I was shown that I woke up and I found my mother's obituary. I hadn't spoken to her in a couple years. And I tried to be a little badass and be like, well, she made her decision and I said goodbye years ago. Ego. And then Michael said to me, are you sure you'll be okay? Once this actually happens, you cannot take it back. Are you truly sure you will be okay? Are you willing to live with that regret? At which point I woke up in real life and I was like, no, I'm not okay. And I messaged my brother at what time in the morning and I was like, is mom okay? And he's like, she's not okay. She's like a wilting flower. And I was like, should I plan a vacation to see her? He's like, I don't think you have that kind of time. Just FaceTime her so she knows that you love her. And I was like, whoa, what do you mean? I dropped everything. By, I believe, like 8 or 9 a.m., I was on the way to California. Yeah. Yeah. Not flying, driving. And when I arrived, her body was almost empty. A certain amount of your physical body needs to be occupied by your soul, or the body ceases to function. I arrived to find my mother looking like Mary Kate and Ashley, a woman who had been extremely overweight my entire life. She was a sack of bones. Speaking exhausted her. I arrived in time to say goodbye. Here's a beautiful thing, though. Even though certain things are set kind of like in stone, but not, when you find the courage, sometimes the trajectory of the events change. Because I had the courage to reach out, she had the courage to hold on. She lived for 7 more months. And I took care of her the entire time. And she thrived. She gained weight. She became spunky. She began to demand things. You could hear her yelling while I was live streaming. She would time that shit like a fucking brat. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. She would consistently bother me to turn her in bed, to the point where one day I got frustrated and I was like, "You are not a fucking hot dog at 7-Eleven. You don't have to be eternally rolled. I just turned you." She had no bed sores at all. She just wanted attention. She wanted me present. When you find the courage, life changes. The trajectory changes. The way you experience the changes becomes something so profound. Because I had the courage to reach out. She had the courage to hold on. And in that 7 months, I'm so proud to be her daughter. I realized everything that's beautiful about me comes from her. The way I can love people, the way I can overlook everything. I used to think she was the weakest person I know. And I was ashamed. For a long time, I was ashamed. And it took me taking care of her and seeing the ways in which she gave so much of her power to me, by way of showing me the antithesis of what she actually is. When you find the courage, you can heal beyond the wounds that you thought couldn't ever heal. I'm still very much a fractured person, but I no longer see myself as broken. I see myself as this beautiful thing that God uses to spread light. It took a lot of pain to fracture me perfectly, in the perfect way, to spread the most light possible. And in that hurt and in the ugly process of healing my perception of who I am and what I'm here to do, there was a lot of pain involved, but also a lot of beauty. My mother was far from perfect, but she was perfect for me in every way. She will forever be the mother that I needed, especially when I couldn't understand. I was talking I was talking to someone, a very special someone, and I began to share about realizations that I had. And it was this thing of, if you guys don't know, I was homeless for a period by choice. I was stuck in a parking lot for about 5.5 months in a broken down RV with my family. And then we chose to be transient for another couple years after that. And I never really had any fear. I never felt badly about the circumstance that I was in. I felt very much at peace. I wasn't afraid. It's because I knew if I'm really done being stuck in a parking lot, if I want to give up on this process that I'm in, all I had to do was call my mom. She would wire me whatever money I need to fix whatever I need. She would give me whatever I ask for. So she's the reason I was never afraid. I was sitting there thinking that I wasn't afraid because I had no other choice. No, I had choice. I had options. But because I know her love is so profound and she would never turn her back on me, no matter how I behave, no matter how long I'm gone, that gave me the courage to continue with my process and blossom into the woman I'm becoming still. I promise you, some of the people that you think don't like you, don't love you, are the very people who are so instrumental in the unfolding of your beauty and your grace. It's just because you don't understand yet the ways in which divinity works. I know my mom didn't intend for anything to play out in the way that it did. She kind of just allowed things to play out. That's kind of just how she is. She doesn't fight the process. She's just like, it is what it is. But she did that in a way that disempowered her. And a huge part of me realizes she allowed herself to be disempowered so I could see clearly, even from childhood, how important it is for me to always hold my power using hands that are wearing gloves made of grace, that I am never to misuse it. I am never to take advantage of people. I'm always to help. Help. Don't expect anything in return, just help. And I used to think she tried to program me to be weak, to be used just like her, just so angry all the fucking time. The reason I didn't understand is because I hadn't yet experienced enough life to give me the maturity and the courage to open my eyes fully to what she was teaching me with no words, without intending to. The way I see her now is completely different than the way I saw her as a child, as a young adult, for much of my adulthood. It's very, very different. Very, very different. It was her refusal of her courage that made me aware of my own. Find your courage, make your choices, stick to it. Allow yourself to really, really just step into this beautiful space where you have the freedom to grow, to heal, to become what you are, to develop your understanding of what that is. You're only meant to know things when you develop the maturity to accept the truth of it. It is very childish, very infantile to expect to understand things you don't have the capacity yet to understand, to expect your understanding to be rushed in order to gain your compliance. Live the beautiful life that was designed for you. Make the decision, step forward, do it. Use your courage to overcome your fear. Watch yourself achieve things. Watch yourself create the life that you deserve simply because you have the courage. You don't necessarily need the money. What you need is the courage to be present and to learn. You can create a life that's worthy of you with very minimal income. Society has taught us that you can't have a beautiful life unless you can afford a mansion, unless you can afford the fancy cars. That's a lie. The most beautiful part of my life was being homeless in a parking lot. That was the most beautiful part of my life. Even my husband feels that way. My children loved it too. I have a huge family. We survived off of $500 a month. I have a huge family. You can't tell me that you need tremendous income to find the beauty in life. Your abundance comes in when you align yourself between your potential and your reality. Because at that point, you exist as your truth. And the truth is, you deserve everything that was created for you. From the experiences you didn't want to the experiences you couldn't have ever even dreamed to have been worthy of. You deserve all of it. Because the experiences you don't want, they're the stepping stones that get you to the experiences that you do. So stop rejecting the process you're in just because you're afraid. Everything you could ever want is on the other side of that fear. Everything. I got to get going, guys. My class is going to start. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, everyone.